ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरक्षसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्रभ्यो जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते तत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So today we will start chapter 8. Last time we did up to chapter 7. And at the end of chapter 7, we saw that Arjuna was introduced to some terminologies in the last two verses of chapter 7, right? Okay, let me show you. Bhagavad Gita 7.29 and 30. These are the two verses when Krishna spoke Arjuna. So the screen is visible, right? Somebody unmute and tell me.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So Bhagavad Gita 7.29, Krishna is telling, Jara Marana Mokshaya Mama Shritta Yatanti Je Te Brahma Tadvido Krishna Adhyattam Karma Chakilam. So in chapter 7, Krishna started describing Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. We saw that up to chapter 6, Krishna described various ways like Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga. 5th chapter, Karma Sannyas Yoga. 6th chapter, Ashtanga Yoga. At the end of 6th chapter, 6.47, Krishna told that Yoginam api sarvesham vadkate nantaratmanah shraddhavan bhajate yomam samejukta tamomata. So out of all the different kinds of yogis, Bhakti yogi is the topmost. So now in chapter 7, Krishna starts this Bhakti Yoga, and up to chapter 12, Krishna will explain purely Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga means to serve Krishna and to surrender unto Krishna. So to know Krishna and to surrender unto Him, we need to know about His glories. So therefore in chapter 7, Krishna is explaining different kinds of energies, right? We saw that apariyamitastallam prakriti vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayadam dharyate jagat. And before that, bhumi rapo nalo vayu khammano bhutirevacha ankara itiyam vinna prakriti rashtatam. So all these verses we have seen in chapter 7. Krishna's different energies, and then Krishna also told about himself, how we can see Krishna in this material world. Rasoham apsupanteya prabhasmi sasi surya pranava sarva vedeshu unnaganta prithivyam sa tejastasmi vibhavasam, like that. Palam balavatam chaham. So there are a series of verses where Krishna describes his own vibhuti and Krishna explains his energies. And Krishna described about demigod worship, and Krishna mentioned them as unintelligent beings, those who worship demigods. for material desires, because the benedictions given by the demigods are temporary. Then Krishna speaks about the impersonalists. Krishna calls them abuddhaya. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam mannate mam abuddhaya param bhavam ajananto mama bhayam anuttam. So like that, Krishna described that what is pure devotional service, very rudimentary. Like he just gave idea about Krishna's energies, his own glories, and what we should not do. We should not become demigod worshippers, and we should not become impersonalists. Then Krishna is introducing these terminologies: Jara Marana Mokshayu Krishnam Adhyattam Karma Chakhilam. So in this verse, three terminologies are explained. Te Brahma. What is Brahma? Then Adhyatma. What is Adhyatma? And Karma. What is Karma? So for us, we have Bhaktivedanta purpose. Srila Prabhupada has given word to word meaning. When Arjuna was hearing it from Krishna, Arjuna did not have Bhaktivedanta purpose. So Arjuna had Krishna in front of him, and whatever doubts Arjuna encountered, he just directly asked Krishna. So 7.21, three terminologies Arjuna had doubt. Then in the 7.30, Sadi bhutadi daivam mam sadi jagyam cha je vidu prayanakale api cha mam te vidurjukta chetasa. So here we see Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, Adi Jagya. Okay, so 3 plus 3, 6. And then another question is Prayanakale api cha mam te vidurjukta chetasa. And how a living entity can remember you at the time of death. So actually there are total 8 questions. So I will summarize them. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be a governing principle of material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So let us start chapter 8 and see what are the doubts of Arjuna. So these are the terminologies which are the sources of the doubt, and we are going to see now what are the exact doubts of Arjuna. Chapter 8, starting. Arjuna Uvacha Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmyam kim karma purushottama adibhutam cha kim proktam adidaivam kim uchyate. তাহলে তুমি সাথে একটা ভগবত গীতা নিয়ে এসো, দু তিনটে নিয়ে এসো, তাহলে তোমরা দেখতে পাবে। So Arjuna is asking, Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adibhutam cha kim proktam adidaivam kim uchyate. The first question is, Kim tad Brahma? What is that Brahma? What is Brahman? Then Kim Adhyatmam? What is Adhyatma? Adhyatma means what is self. Kim Karma Purushottama? What is fruitive activities? Chapter 8, verse 1. Kim Karma? What are fruitive activities? Adibhutam cha Kim Proktam? What is Adibhuta or material manifestation? So here Prabhupada is writing material manifestation, but Arjuna does not know that Adibhuta means material manifestation. He is just asking Krishna, what is Adibhuta? Adibhutam cha kim proktam, Adidaivam kim uchyate. What is Adidaiva? Adidaiva means the demigods. Please explain to me. So in this verse, Arjuna is asking how many questions? Kim tat Brahma? What is that Brahma? First, Kim Adhyatmam? What is Adhyatma? Second question. Kim Karma? Third question. Adibhutam, Adidaivam. 5 questions Arjuna is asking. What is Brahma? What is Karma? What is Adhyatma? What is Adibhuta? What is Adidaiva? Okay, 5 questions. Then in the next verse, Arjuna is asking, Adhijagya katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayanakale cha katham yeyoshi nityatmavi. So in this verse, Arjuna is asking, Adhijagya katham kotra? Who is the Lord of sacrifice? Adhijagya. Dehesmin Madhusudana, and how does he live in the body of Madhusudana? Then Prayana Kale cha Katham, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? So here Arjuna is asking 3 questions. Who is Adhijagya? How he is situated in the body, and how a person can know who is engaged in devotional service can remember you at the time of death. Okay. So these are the 8 questions, 5 plus 3. So in the previous shloka, we saw that what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, what is Karma, Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva. In the next verse, we see Adi Jagya, how he is situated in the body, and how one can remember Krishna at the time of death. Okay. So please remember these 8 questions I will ask you at the end. This is the beginning of chapter 8. Then in the third sloka, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatma Muchyate Bhuta Bhavo Karo Visarga Karma Samhita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman. Who is Brahman? We are Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. We are made of Satchidananda. So, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma. And what is Adhyatma? Eternal nature of the Brahman. Eternal nature of the Brahman is to serve Krishna. So that is Adhyatma or the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activity. And karma means the living entities have come into this material world and they perform some activity. Some activity they perform for gratifying their senses, and they have to get the result of those activities. So that is called karma, or the pious or impious activities, whatever they have done, they are stored as karma, and they will reap the benefit of that, or they will reap the distress from that. So Krishna is answering questions like what is Brahman, what is Adhyatma, and what is karma in this verse. Okay. So please remember also the answers by Krishna and the questions of Arjuna. 8.4, Krishna is answering further questions. Adibhutam Sharo Bhava Purushas Daivatam Adhijakyo Hame Vatra Dehe Deha Vratam Vara. Oh, based of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta. Adibhuta means the material manifestation which is constantly changing. This material manifestation, sometimes it is created, it is maintained for some time, and after some time it is annihilated. In the Gajendra prayers, he is praying to the Supreme Lord that Jashyatma Nidam Nijamaya Yarpitam Pachit Vibhatam Pachatatti Rohitam Avidya Dikshakshi Ubayam Tadikshate Sa Atma Mulo Gatumam Paratpara. So Gajendra is addressing this material nature as Pachit Vibhatam Pachatat Tirohitam. Sometimes it is manifested and sometimes it is withdrawn. When Mahavishnu exhales, all the material universes emanate from his body and they are maintained by the different expansions and different universal managers like demigods who can be considered the part of the body of the Supreme Lord only. So like that, Vishnu creates the universes, Vishnu maintains them, and after annihilation, all the universes enter into him only. In this chapter also, 8.19, we will see Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. That means this material manifestation. Sometimes it is created and after sometimes it is annihilated. So that is called Adibhuta. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and moon, is called Adidaiva. What is Adidaiva? Universal form of the Lord, Virat Rupa. And in that Virat Rupa, demigods are also a part of the Virat Rupa. When in the 11th chapter we will see Krishna will display the universal form, Arjuna will see different demigods, Brahma, Shiva, everything in the universal body of the Supreme Lord. So that universal form, which includes all the demigods, is called Adidaiva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, is called Adhijagya. The Supreme Lord Krishna is called Adhijagya. In the 5th chapter, 29th verse, we have already seen Bhuktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhitam Sarvabhutanam Gyatmam Shanti Nichati. So Krishna is Bhuktaram Yagyatapasam, or the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices. Therefore, Krishna is also called as Adhijagya, or the Lord of Sacrifice. Okay. So previously Krishna answered 3 questions. And then in this verse, Adibhutam, Adidaivam, Adijagya is explained. And where Adhijagya is situated, that question is also answered. Super soul. Super soul in the heart of every embodied being. This is further elaborated in chapter 15 and chapter 18, right? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So Krishna as super soul is situated in all our hearts. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridasya Arjuna tishtati 18.61. So like that. So how many questions answered? 7 questions are answered. I'm repeating for your help that what are the 8 questions by Arjuna? Okay, let me repeat from beginning only. What are the terminologies introduced by Krishna in the 7th chapter? Jara marana mokshaya mamashrite jatanti te ye brahma tad vidu Krishna adhyattam karma chakhilam. In 7.29, Krishna is introducing Brahma, Adhyatma and Karma. 3 terminologies. 7.30 Sadi bhutadi devam mam sadi jagyam cha je vidu prayana kale api cha mam te vidur yukta chetasa. Krishna is introducing Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Jagya. Okay? Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva mam sadi jagyam cha je vidu prayana kale api cha mam te vidur yukta chetasa. And at the time of death, by devotional service, some devotees can remember Krishna at the time of death. So Krishna introduced all these terminologies. Based on these terminologies, Arjuna had questions which Arjuna asked in the beginning of 8th chapter. What are the 8 questions of Arjuna? First question, what is Brahma? What is Karma? What is Adhyatma? What is Adibhuta? What is Adidaiva? What is Adijagya? Okay? How Adijagya is situated in our body? 7th. And how one can remember Krishna at the time of death? This is 8th question. So now 7 questions are answered in 8.3 and 4. In 8.3, Krishna answered 3 questions. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? In 8.4, Krishna answered further 4 questions. What is Adibhuta? What is Adidaiva? What is Adijagya? How Adijagya is situated in the body? Now which question is remaining? How one can remember Krishna at the time of death? That is the very famous sloka 8.5. Antakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram jab prayatisha madbhavam jatinastatra samshaya. And whoever at the end of his life quits its body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Okay. So now Krishna will explain about how we can remember Krishna. That is the most important phenomenon. So let me show you the chapter summary of 8th chapter. So this is chapter 8. Yes. So in chapter 8, we have already seen that Lord defines different terminologies. Arjuna is asking questions and Lord is defining the terminologies in verse number 1 to 4. In verse number 5 to 8, Krishna will explain. 5th verse we already started. 5 to 8, Krishna will explain about how we can remember Krishna at the time of death. Okay. Then from 9 to 13, Krishna will explain remembering Krishna by Yoga Mishra Bhakti and attaining Brahman. So we can remember Krishna in 2 ways. The yogis also remember Krishna, the bhaktas also remember Krishna. But the yogis remember Krishna, that is called Yoga Mishra Bhakti. And by that they attain Brahman. Then that is explained in 9 to 13. In 14 to 16, Krishna will explain remembering Krishna by pure bhakti. That is 14 to 16. Right? And then 17 to 22, material versus spiritual world. 23 to 28, path of light and darkness. When one leaves body, whether he will get higher destination or lower destination, that is explained. And then this is coming to end of this chapter. Okay. So let's continue from verse number 8.5. So in verse 8.5, Krishna is telling first that if you can remember me when you are quitting your body, you will come to me. Otherwise, what will happen? That is explaining verse number 8.6. Jam jam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatante kalevaram tam tamivaiti kvanteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his body, a son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So in 8.5, Krishna explained, if you remember me at the back end of your life, you will come to me, but you fail to do so, then what will happen? Whatever state of being you are thinking during leaving your body, that state he will attain without fail. So like someone is thinking about that in this life, I could not I have not eaten satisfactory amount of meat, then Krishna will give the body of tiger. So like that, if someone wants to swim, Krishna will give body of fish. So like that, we are attached to different kinds of activities, and according to that attachment and that absorption of mind during living body, we'll get our destination. 8.7, very wonderful verse. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मयि अर्पिता मनो बुद्धिर्मामे वैश्यास्य संशया. Therefore, O Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. So first, Krishna has told the benefits of remembering Krishna and what is the risk of not remembering Krishna at the time of death, right? So we have seen our professors in the first day of our college give introduction about the course, why you should study this course, okay, like these compilers or this computer architecture algorithm, why you should learn this course. So Krishna similarly is telling, oh, you want me to explain about remembering me at the time of death? First, let me tell you, if you remember me at the time of death, what will happen? And if you fail to remember me, what will happen? Then I will explain the process. So in 8.7, Krishna is instructing, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So this is relevant for all of us. Krishna is not telling that Arjuna, you only remember me and you go to some forest and in trance you just meditate on me. At the same time, carry out your prescribed duties of fighting. Similarly, we as students, we have to carry out our prescribed duty of studying. Family members have to carry out their prescribed duty of business or some services. So with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So this is the process of remembering Krishna. We have to remember Krishna also, and we have to carry out our activities also. And Prabhupada has given us the way that how we can remember Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have to chant this holy name of Krishna, and we must carry out our different prescribed duties. Then Bhagavad Gita 8.8, 8th chapter. अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नन्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं यति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. So like that, if one practices, then one can meditate on Krishna and his mind will be constantly engaged in remembering Krishna, and thus one will attain Krishna. So the different questions are answered, right? Now, in verse number 9 to 13, we are entering that section of Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Krishna will explain how the yogis, they are not pure devotees. They remember Krishna with Yoga Mishra Bhakti and they attain Brahma. Kabim Puranam Anusasitaram Anor Aniyam Sam Anusmaritya Sarvasya Dhataram Achinta Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasha Parastat. One should meditate upon the Supreme Brahman as one who knows everything, and he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendent beyond this material nature. Kavim Puranam Anusasitaram. Kavi means he, the one who knows everything. In Srimad Bhagavatam we have seen Janmadhyasya Tanvaya Ditaratasya Artheshu Avidya Swarad. Krishna knows everything. And Puranam is the oldest. Adyam Purana Purusham Navajoganam. Anusasitaram, the controller. Anushasan means controlling. Anor Aniyamsham, smaller than the atom. In atom also, the form of Kiradopashay Vishnu is there. He is smaller than the atom and bigger than the biggest also. In the universal form as Mahavishnu. Anusmaret, always we should think of that Supreme Lord. Ya Sarvasya Dhataram. We should always think or meditate about that Supreme Lord who is the Dhata or maintainer of everything. Achinta Rupam Aditya Varnam. Aditya Varnam means luminous like the sun. Achinta Varnam. Achinta Rupam, whose form is inconceivable or beyond all material conceptions. His form is Sachidananda. Tamasa Parastha, he is transcendental to all darkness of this material world. So these are the different glories of Krishna which help the yogis to meditate on him. Yogis are trying to meditate their mind on Krishna. So first of all, they have to know the glories of Krishna. Then only they can do so. प्रयाण काले मनसा चलेन भक्ता युक्त जोग बलेन चैव भूवर मध्ये प्रणम अवेश्य सम्य सतम परम पुरुषम उपायति दिव्यम. One who at the time of death fixes his life here between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Ashtanga yogis can do that. This is like we have seen Vishwadev also had Ichhamittu, or whenever he wanted, he could leave his body. So the Ashtanga yogis, they have controlled different chakras of their body, and by that power, mystic power, what they can do is they can fix their life here between the eyebrows, and they can transfer them to any of the suitable planets, including the spiritual world. So here, like there is a book by Srila Prabhupada, Easy Journey to Other Planets. Like our scientists are trying to go to different planets by dint of different rockets and spaceships like that. But a yogi, they can enter to any planets, right? Actually, if we are able to go to moon planet also or some other planet, Mars, we will not see the opulence there. Actually, the moon planet is very much opulent. It is higher than the earthly planetary system. It is part of Sargaloka. But if the scientists are able to reach moon planet also, they will not see such opulences because the different kingdoms are restricted by the illusory potency of the Supreme Lord. If you belong to earthly planetary system, and if fortunately you go to moon planet, you will not see anything. If you are qualified to enter moon planet, and by dint of yoga you enter moon planet, then you will have the access to all different kinds of opulence. So like that, the yogis can do so. But this is a very different phenomena. They can realize Paramatma, and they can enter any planet. They can even enter spiritual world. But when a yogi is entering spiritual world, you know for sure that Ashtanga yogi has been converted into Bhakti yogi. Otherwise, he cannot enter. So those Ashtanga yogis who are not converted to Bhakti yogis, they can reach up to Brahman. But some categories of Ashtanga yogis, after having Darshana Paramatma, they are completely purified and they take up to Bhakti yoga. They can enter spiritual planets. Verse number 11. Jadaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti Visanti Yat Yayato Pitaraga Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshe. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkar, and who are great sages in the renounced order, entered into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices salvation. Now I shall briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. So this is Yoga Mr. Bhakti. They are also meditating on the Supreme Lord, but they are approaching by the process of Ashtanga Yoga or meditation. Verse number 12. So Krishna will explain now the way how the yogis can do so. Sarvadvarani samyamya manoridhi nirudhya cha murdni adhattamana pranam asthito yogadharanam. The yogic situation is that detachment from all sensual engagements. So this is the first step in Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So there are do's and don'ts. After that comes pratyahara, or detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses, fixing the mind on the heart. Fixing the mind on the heart means dharana, and then when dharana matures, it becomes dhyana, and when dhyana matures, that becomes samadhi. And the life air at the top of the head, one establishes himself in yoga. So this is the process of Ashtanga Yoga. Krishna already explained in chapter number 6. Om iti etaksharam brahma yaharan mam anusmaran ja prayati tajanteham sayati paramam gatim. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. So this Omkar or this Pranava is non-different from Krishna. Krishna is telling that Rasoham Apsupanteya Prabhasmi Sasisurya Pranava Sarva Vedeshu Sabdakhe Purusham Nishu. So the yogis, they utter the sacred syllable Om and they concentrate or meditate their mind on Krishna, and like that they will get salvation and they can reach the spiritual planets. Given that they will become devotees. But if they remain impersonalists, they can reach up to the impersonal Brahma. 8.14, very, very important verse. Ananya cheta satatam yoman smarati nityasha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yogina. So here the term sulabha is very important. So Krishna first told about that there is a method called Ashtanga Yoga, and that method is very, very cumbersome process. You have to go through different stages, you have to control your mind. And already in the 6th chapter, Arjuna has rejected Chanchalam hi manam Krishna pramati balabhadridam tasyaham nigraham manapayureva shuduskaram. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, I can control this wind, but I cannot control my mind. So therefore now Krishna is giving easier method, right? From 9 to 13, we have discussed about Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Now 14 to 16, Krishna will give a easier method, that is remembering Krishna by pure bhakti. So therefore, if one approaches Krishna by this devotional service, then Tasyaham Sulabha Partha. I am very easily accessible for that person. Ananya Cheta Satatam Jomam Smarati Nityasa Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginam. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. Osana Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Okay. Krishna has spoken to Uddhava in the 11th canto about Bhakti Yoga and other processes. न साधयति मां जोगो न धर्मा संख उद्धवा न सध्यायस्तपस्त्यागो यथा भक्तिर्ममूर्जिता. Krishna is telling, na sadhayati mam. I am not very much pleased by yogo, na dharma, sankha uddhava, na sadhaya, tapas, tyago, jatha bhaktir mamurjita. So I am not that much pleased by different kinds of processes like yoga. Yoga means Ashtanga Yoga. Dharma means pious activities, and Sankhya by analysis of body and soul, or Nasyadhaya, or this is verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Swadhyaya means reading Vedas, different kinds of Vedic scriptures, right? Nasadhyaya, tapastyago, austerity, and your sacrifice. By all these things, you cannot please Krishna. Jatha bhaktir mamurjita. But I am very easily satisfied by Bhakti Yoga. So if you approach me through Bhakti Yoga, the path is very sulabha. Sulabha means very easily available, right? In the Brahma Samhita also, Krishna is telling that Vedeshu durlabham, adurlabham atma bhakto. If you approach me through different kinds of Vedic literature, yagyas, or karma kandas, or many different processes which are explained in the Vedas, I am very hard to obtain. But adurlabham atma bhakto. But if you take shelter of my devotees and follow their footsteps, you will very easily come to me. So like that. Krishna throughout the Bhagavad Gita has spoken about the glories of Bhakti Yoga. and how we can easily attain Bhakti Yoga. But the mood of Krishna is not forcing. Krishna is just enumerating different kinds of paths to reach him, and Krishna is analyzing their merits and demerits. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and then Ashtanga Yoga, like that. Different paths are there. This is the process. These are the merits and demerits. But Krishna is throughout the Bhagavad Gita, he is making Arjuna convinced about this point that I am giving you many different paths, but my opinion that you practice Bhakti Yoga, that you can see. Okay, 8.15. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. So here Krishna is explaining the precarious condition of this material world. So one can think that okay, by Bhakti Yoga, Krishna is very easy to obtain. But I need some reason that why should I remember Krishna? Why should I want to obtain Krishna? I am very happy here in this world. Why should I remember Krishna? So Krishna is creating the reason that you are not happy here. This material world is dukkhalayam. Understand this. And whatever happiness you are thinking, that is given by our acharyas, that Maya is constantly kicking us in this material world, and the temporary happiness which you obtain in this material world is the time lag between two consecutive kicks of Maya. So that is the happiness in this material world. There is another analogy in Srimad Bhagavatam given that a person is in forest and a tiger is chasing that person, and the person is fallen into a well, dark well, and there is one twig in that dark well, and while the man is falling into the well, he just somehow catches that twig and he is floating in that well. And there are snakes, cobras, they are waiting for that person below that well, dark well. And above that well, the tiger is waiting for him. Tiger is waiting to kill that person. So the person is hanging in between the well. Below the well, there are snakes. Above the well, there is tiger. Both way, there is danger. But in that condition, there is a beehive just on the top of that person. And from that beehive, one drop of honey is coming, and that is falling into the mouth of that person. And that person is releasing that honey. And he's thinking this material world is very nice. So these are the different analogies given in our Shastras. So therefore, we have to understand that this material world is dukkhalayam. Actually, Maya, or the illusory potency of the Supreme Lord, it has two aspects. One is called uh, Abharanatmika aspect, and another is called Prakshevatmika aspect. So Abharanatmika aspect of Maya is that aspect by which Maya covers our intelligence. And we think we are happy in this material world. Why do we need to worship Krishna? That is Abharanatmika. Maya is covering us, and we are not able to understand that we are at all in distress. This is the main reason. You ask any person, how are you? I am fine. If you ask a patient in hospital also, uh, that person will think that I am fine. If you ask him, how are you? I am fine. So that is the issue. Everyone thinks I am fine in this world. They do not know they are constantly being kicked by Maya. So this aspect is called Avaranatmika. And then another aspect is Prakshebatmika aspect. What is Prakshebatmika? If someone, by the mercy of devotees approach that person and tell that person that, hey brother, you know you are in distress. So then that person understands, oh, I am in distress. Devotee enumerates different kinds of distresses: birth, old age, disease, death, adhyatmic clash, adhibhautik clash, adhidaivik clash. After hearing DY session, the person starts thinking, oh, really, I may be in distress. Then the Prakshabatmika aspect is starting again. Again in YouTube, some new movie is coming, some notification is coming, and that person forgets everything. The world is very nice. So like that, this is called Prakshabatmika. If you are interested to get out of this world, immediately Maya will throw you back. So that is why Prakshep. Maya will throw you back into this world of material world. And another is Aparanatmika Maya is covering your intelligence. You cannot understand that this material world is Dukkhale Musashvata. So therefore, before in the previous verse, Krishna spoke about how I am easily accessible. Now Krishna is giving us the reason that why should we approach Krishna. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion, they never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. So we'll cover another verse, 8.16, then we will continue in our next class. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravarti norjuna mamupidyatu kvanteya punarjanmana vidyate. From the highest planet of this material world down to the lowest, all are the places of misery. Even the place of Brahma and the hellish planets throughout the universe, 14 planetary system, they are full of misery. Wherein repeated birth and death take place. Brahma has very long lifetime, but Brahma also dies. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. He attains the eternal nature. So we see that demoniac personalities like Hiranyakashipu and all, Ravana, they wanted to become immortal, Amar. But actually we can become Amar or immortal by devotional service. We get spiritual body and that is immortal body. So like that, Krishna will now explain about material world and spiritual world. And here we will see the descriptions of time scales of Brahma and time scale in our earthly planetary system. So all these descriptions will come. But Krishna summarized that Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punara Vartino Raju. Everyone is wandering in this material world, in these 14 planetary systems. From Brahma to earthly planetary system, everyone. ब्रह्मांड भ्रमित कोनो भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसाद पाए मुक्ति लता तो but one who attains my nature mamupetyatu kanteya punarjanma na vidyate. For that person there is no punarjanma or rebirth. Okay, so we completed this section of remembering Krishna by pure bhakti. Now in that next class we will see about material and spiritual worlds. And next time, yeah, so in the next class, material versus spiritual worlds and paths of lights and darkness. Means during death, if a person dies in some particular situation, he will attain higher destination, or a person dies in some other situations, he will get lower destinations. So that will be explained. And how a bhakti yogi or a devotee is transcendental to all these different material conditions. For ordinary yogis, there are conditions. Like if you die in this condition, you will get higher destination. If you die in some other condition, he will get lower destination. But for a bhakti yogi, in whatever condition he dies or leaves the body, he will get the supreme abode of Krishna. Okay. So thank you all very much for attending today's session. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So do you have any questions? Or otherwise I will ask you some questions which will summarize the whole topic. Answer to those questions. Okay. So you know the first question, that what are the 8 questions of Arjuna and what are the answers given by Krishna? Someone please enumerate the questions and someone can tell the answers.
Prabhu, 8 questions are who is Brahman, and
Yes.
what is karma?
Yeah.
What is Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmak, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, and Adi
no,
Yajna.
this is not Adi Daivik actually. So here there is a difference. Here Brahman, Karma and Adhyatma. Adhyatma means the self or the soul. Okay. Then there are 3 topics: Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, Adi Jagya. So this is not exactly like the Adi Atmic class, Adi Bhautik class, Adi Daivik class. The terminologies are little different, right? So please tell again.
Okay. Okay. First question is who is Brahman?
Yeah,
Next is what is karma?
yeah. Then Adhyatma. You are not audible. Are you on?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yeah. Now. So Brahma, karma, then
Adhyatmam.
Adhyatma. Okay. Then
Adibhutam.
Adibhuta,
Adibhuta. Adi Daiva. And
Adidaiva,
Adiyagna. And
Adiyagya.
how does that Adiyagna he will be in this body?
Yes.
How can one remember Krishna at the time of death?
Yeah, very good. So Rahul Prabhu, what is you say three answers. What is Brahma, karma, and Adhyatma?
Now, Brahman means the living entity is called Brahman.
Yeah.
Means indestructible living entity is Brahman,
Yes.
and the nature of the living entity is called Adhyatma,
Yeah. And karma?
or the self. And then karma is the to maintain this material body. The
Yeah.
activities done to maintain this physical body is called karma.
Karma. And that karma, effect of that karma, the living entity will get in due course of time. Okay, fine. So now, Nilanjan Prabhu explain me what is Adibhuta, Adideva, Adiyagya.
Yes, Prabhu. So Adibhuta is the constantly changing material manifestation,
Yeah.
and Adi Daiva is the universal form, which includes the demigods also, and Adi Yagya means the supreme lord.
Yeah. How Adiyagya is situated in this body?
Supreme lord is situated as super soul in the heart of the living entities.
Okay, fine. Okay. Vivek Prabhu, how we can remember Krishna at the time of death?
So Krishna said that a person who remembers me at her last breath becomes one with me,
Yeah.
like comes to my abode.
Yeah. Yeah. Then
So
also Krishna told two different ways we discussed today. Two different types of remembrance of Krishna.
yeah, so one is by chanting his holy name,
Hmm.
and the
That is
second is
bhakti.
bhakti yoga, and also the second one is a difficult way when
Yeah.
a yogi performs several austerities and remembers the Krishna.
Ashtanga yoga.
Ashtanga yoga, right?
Yeah. So that is called yoga mishra bhakti. Ashtanga yogi performs. And another is by pure bhakti. So by pure bhakti, Krishna is Sulabha, and by Ashtanga yoga, it is difficult to obtain the Supreme Lord. And by Ashtanga yoga, one can achieve Brahman up to Brahman. But if that Ashtanga yogi becomes Bhakti yogi, he can also enter the spiritual planets. So this is the summary of today. Thank you all very much for giving our Kusiyas Association. Okay. Bhagavad Gita Astis ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।